Hey guys, haven't seen you for a while. Sorry about that. I'll explain in another video. This week, I'm very excited because I've got a chance to play with something I've been waiting to play with for a long time. Ever since they first announced this gun a couple of years back now in that big event, I've been basically awaiting with bated breath to get my hands on one. This is the production model of the SL2, available as both a sporter and a trap gun. I'll do the early bits and then we'll talk about shooting impressions, right? Available in 30 and 32 inch barrels. They're 18.4 board, but they are this new Stelium Pro X barrel profile with incredibly long chokes and some sort of witchcraft that occurs basically between there and there to make this gun have basically no recoil. I've never shot a gun off the shelf with no custom fitting that shoots as softly and nicely as these do, and I've tried both versions and yeah, like stunning. Really nice to shoot. 32 inch barrels on this one, 3 inch chamber, 18.4 board, superior steel proofed. Finished with this lovely deep bluing, the 11 to 7 mil tapered top rib with a red front post bead. We've got obviously ventilated mid rib, ventilated top rib. Fore end is this very sporty looking kind of fluted sporter shape. It's kind of halfway between a beaver tail and a kind of a rounded sporter for him, but with this lovely nice deep finger choil to get good traction on. 45 degree, it's actually more than 45 degree slope at the front end to give it this very kind of sporty look, very sinuous. Beautifully checkered, nice bit of wood. The mixture of shiny and matte kind of finish on the metalwork starts here and continues through the action, and I just think it looks amazing. I know a lot of people aren't fans of this. I know a lot of people think that it's not pretty enough, but honestly, I think the way this has been designed, I'll talk more about it later, but I think it's very pretty. The action itself, it's kind of a mishmash of the best of some of their different other products. So the lockup is basically from an SO, the trigger group is basically from a DT11, and they've sort of grabbed the best bits of some of their existing catalogue and then mated it to this amazing barrel tech, and then gone to town with the design in terms of this kind of really super futuristic look with this finish that's kind of part of the engineering of the gun. This finish here on the top lever and around the detonation coming into the top strap is incredibly finely etched with a laser to give you this super matte finish, so there's no glare. It has a similar kind of top profile to the 694 in that it's kind of thin and then widens out into the action to give you good visibility. The action itself has this lovely kind of almost hips. It's kind of like a snake or like a 50s pin-up with this kind of waistline bust almost coming into the hips, into the throat of the action, and it's to center weight in between your hands. It's kind of again taking on what they've learned from the DT11, etc. It's that kind of feel, very planted, perfectly balanced, beautiful handling. The trigger guard is this kind of sporty looking swept. To me, it looks like it's been designed in a wind tunnel. That's kind of the thing. It looks like a thing that's been designed to go fast, and I really like that. Adjustable trigger coming into this palm swell in the pistol grip. The pistol grip has basically a lovely radius, and it's a very subtle palm swell. It's as much about what they've removed from the finger side as what they've left in the palm side in terms of the way it feels in the hand, and it very nicely locates you without kind of feeling ungainly. It's kind of slim but also nicely contoured. The stock is, as you would expect, kind of fairly typical. I've got this set up reasonably high in the comb just at the minute because it shoots nice for me that way. But obviously adjustable comb, BFAS system, weights fore and aft as you'd expect. and finished off with a microcore pad. The microcore pad means that you can have any length of pull you want. This gun itself is £9.2, although if you are buying one, I'm assuming you're probably going to spec your own wood. And I don't know, man, it's just something about this. It fits beautifully, it shoots beautifully. The lack of recoil from this amazing barrel profile is really, really kind of arresting. It kind of almost makes you stop when you pull the trigger and you're like, did that go off? It really is that light. This is as close to a custom-built gun whilst being off the shelf as I've ever handled. The handling is absolutely superb. No notes. It shoots beautifully. It patterns really nicely. I've seen some really cracking breaks with this. I think I've got a 1/2 3/4 in at the minute, and it's absolutely powdering whatever you point it at. The trigger is something worthy of note. Might just be this gun, but I did notice a tiny, tiny bit of slop in the trigger pull, which I was very surprised about for something at this price point. And with this particular trigger group, I would expect that to be a bit crisper, but it might just be, this is an early gun, it's a press gun, it's probably had a bit of hammer, don't know, but I would expect that to be fettled, shall we say, in the more production guns. As I said, the lockup, if you've seen an SL3 game gun, you've seen one of these, robbed from the SO, but beautifully jeweled, internal and out, as you'd expect for a gun at this price. The fit and finish is glorious, and the jewelling kind of continues throughout. Very, very, very nice. Superior steel approved, 3-inch chamber, blah, 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 as you would expect. 18-4 board, which is tighter than I thought it was going to come out. Obviously, Beretta, quite famous for their kind of overboring, but this is nominal 18-4, and as such, I've shot both fibre and plastic through this, and I couldn't tell the difference. There's some, as I said, something in here, witchcraft. And that kind of gets me to one of my points about this gun. The people that I've seen who've seen it, and this has been here for a few weeks, I've put a couple of slabs through it, spent a good bit of time with it and enjoyed it very much. But a lot of people have kind of picked this up and gone, turned their noses up a little bit. I can't see 20 grand in that. Well, I don't think we're going to be 20 grand. I think by the time you, because obviously that's RRP, if you can pick one up from a dealer, you're going to be spending a little bit less than that. You've gotten used to the concept of buying a gun at a price point based on how embellished it is, and I think that's kind of a key thing. You can take any gun, right, at a base price of X, and then throw humans at it, throw time, engraving, wood, fitting and finishing, hand fitting finishing, and turn it into an 80 grand gun. With the stuff that is up here at the really top end with your Krieghoff and your Pattison and with the SL, they've started at a level of engineering that others can't touch, right? It is not a gun that started down here and got embellished up. They've started up here. And this thing, I think, is the latest in a generation of guns that have been engineered without the accountants looking. I think this thing's been built to be as good as they can make it with an, I don't want to say an unlimited budget, but a fair budget in terms of R&D, that they've spent time in the tunnel. If you've seen Johnny's video with that high-speed photography that they use to analyse patterns and pattern density, recoil impulses and all the rest of it, that's where they've spent the time and the money, and that's why this gun, it costs what it costs, because they've engineered it to be the best it can be. Now maybe that is a thing that only 10% of shooters can explore the benefits of, right? Maybe it is what it is. I mean, if they've used a kind of an F1 mindset and they've built the best gun they can build for whatever amount of money it costs, then that's fine. And, you know, I couldn't jump in an F1 car and go and, you know, stick one on Max Verstappen, much as I'd like to. I couldn't drive it. And I don't know, maybe I can't exploit the best bits of this gun, or indeed my gun, which is also an expensive toy. A very expensive toy that I love very much, but it may be that I'm just not able to exploit that, and maybe that's why people can't see the value. They just, it doesn't matter, or they don't care. But I do think this is something aspirational, and I do think people are gonna want to own these. And over time, Well, time will tell, right? The gun is beautifully finished. It comes in a beautiful case. The case itself is almost an event, right? It is. You see it, you think, whoa, leather trimmed, with this kind of graphite finish with a trident on the top, and then you open it up, Alcantara, orange stitching, the logos are all there. It looks like the inside of a sports car. You've got your spares kit, socks, and all the rest of it in there. This gun is in a bit of an event, and it's certainly been an event every time you get one out. People want to see it, people want to touch it, people want to play with it, as you would expect. So, the SL2, I like it. I do like it. Yeah, no notes. It's a thing of beauty, and it performs very, very well indeed. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. An unbiased review, right? I'm not getting paid to do this. I just really dig this thing because it's good. Sorry. It may be that you have a differing opinion. Please leave a comment. I'm sure the comment section will get a bit spicy. But do also please think about helping out. I would very much appreciate it if you could join. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe. But more than that, if you could help out a little bit, the channel ain't free. The channel makes next to bugger all money, and I would be very, very grateful if you would consider joining. It starts out at a pretty small number. I think it's like $2.99 a month. You get early access to reviews, you get access to member-only content, and we have a WhatsApp group that the guys all pitch in with, and everybody has a bit of crack in there. It's gas, and I would very much appreciate your support if you enjoy the show. Hopefully, you'll take a punt. Guys, thanks for tuning in as ever, and I'll see you next time.